Hey up, folks. Got a question for you. Should Tommy Robinson be encouraged to join the Reform Party? Nigel Farage says no, Robinson will never join Reform. And I don't believe that Robinson has actually expressed any interest in joining Reform. Nevertheless, it is a question that's going the rounds at the moment, so I thought I'd have a go at answering it. I do not believe that Tommy Robinson should be allowed to join Reform. It's as simple as that. Why? Well, what do Robinson and Farage have in common? The only thing I can think of is that they're both a pair of short asses. Farage is 5'8". Robinson is 5'6". It's difficult to take any politician seriously who's under about 5'10". Farage gets away with it because he's a cheeky chappy. He has that cheeky chappy persona, that little grin as he lights a cigarette and takes a swig of his pint of beer. It's a persona he's created, but he's very good at it. Robinson doesn't have that persona. He can't escape his early political years, which were in street fighting, basically. And I wouldn't mind if the street fighting had some political end to it. But the background before he joined the British National Party, before he set up the English Defence League, the background was football hooliganism. Now, try as I might, I find it very hard to take a football hooligan seriously as an elected politician. I just do. Farage, his background is originally, I believe, the Conservative Party. He moved over to UKIP because he regarded Brexit as being the main issue facing the country. Eventually, he rose to be leader of UKIP, and by 2014, he was able to lead UKIP to victory in the European elections of that year. Admittedly, turnout was appalling, but it doesn't matter. It's about how many votes you get, not what the percentage total of the votes is. And Farage's party, UKIP, got, I think, 27% of the vote. That was ahead of any other party. 5 years later, when we were forced to take part in yet another one of these European farces, having voted to leave the European Union but not actually left, Farage, as head of the Brexit Party, then scored just over 30% of the vote. Now, at that election, which was held using the D'Hondt system of voting, Tommy Robinson decided to stand as an independent in Northwest England, in the Northwest England district. Now, why he chose to stand in Northwest England, I've got no idea because he's from fucking Luton, but he did. And I thought, to be honest, that he would win on the basis of name recognition. He didn't win. He failed, and he failed very, very badly. He got just a smidgen over 2% of the vote. Even using PR, if your share of the vote is so derisory, you're not gonna go into elected office. So Farage, the politician who led the Brexit Party to glory in 2019 and put the fear of God up the two main parties, and Robinson, the political agitator. Now, is there anything wrong with being a political agitator? No, of course not. Of course not. I'm one myself. I used to love writing political pamphlets. Unfortunately, in the 21st century, most people don't read, so I started making YouTube videos. I wish I could write pamphlets still, but this is the way you get to people. Robinson, he's written a couple of books. They're not really all that well written, but he is very good at communicating with people using new media. There is a tape recording of him speaking from prison. It lasts for about 5 minutes, and I think it deserves more of an audience. Robinson appeals to a particular demographic. He acts as their spokesman. And the more people who follow him, who support him, who agitate for his release, both in the UK and in the USA, where he is probably more popular in the USA than he is in Britain, the more people who do that, the more likely it is that he will be released and that his arguments will eventually be taken up, vulgarized, twisted, watered down by the main political parties. But Robinson, the agitator, is unelectable because British people, ordinary Joes and Josephines, are not going to vote for some Luton yob who has done time in jail for, well, basic things like football hooliganism, mortgage fraud, trying to visit the United States on a fake passport. I mean, it's ridiculous, some of the antics he got up to. They are the antics of some, Luton yob. And you don't go from being a Luton yob to being a member of parliament. People just won't vote for a yob. That's not the same as saying the yob, as an older man, and Robinson is now in his 40s, cannot put forward ideas that appeal to people. Ideas that, dare I say it, Nigel Farage can pick up on and twist and water down and put forward. I think that's the future for both men. Robinson, the activist, the agitator, Farage, the democratic politician, working apart from each other, but towards the same ends, roughly. I think it could be a winning combination. Think on, folks.